Jeff from Two Hacks Garage. Well, if you saw in other videos recently, I've been taking my T-Bird out and just making some test hits. I refer to it as Cuban test hits, kind of the back road fun, probably not 100% legal, but you know what? I live in a rural area. That road's not very traveled. And to be honest with you guys, I don't do anything stupid on it when anybody's around. But as you can see, you know what? I have had a lot of luck, or lack thereof, of actually getting traction. I did get some new tires with this car. They're a Hoosier drag radial, and I do also have a set of Mickey Thompson drag radials. So far, both are hooking somewhat decent, but as you can see in the videos, it's just not exactly 100% there. I still have a whole lot of chassis tuning to do with this, especially with those QA1 shocks and the Spawn Performance control arms. They're fully adjustable, tubular, really great setup. I like it. I just need to get it all dialed in. So this video here, well, it's going to be kind of a fun one. I really don't know what to expect. It's all about the traction compound. I actually have two of them on hand. We're going to kind of do a comparison. I know it's not on a drag strip. It's on an old country road. But you know what, guys? Let's just have fun. Let's just see what happens. So what is traction compound? Well, to be honest with you, I really don't even have a clue what's in it. I know it's a liquid that you can pour down. You do a nice hot burnout, and it gets these tires, gets the pavement nice and sticky. The whole theory is pour it down, get your tires through there, nail it, get it nice and sticky, back up in your tracks, and it forms a layer of something real sticky on there, so when you hit it, your tires are sticking like glue. So what do we have today? Well, we have Jegs Maximum Traction Compound. We're going to try this out. It says it's aggressive tack, fast dry, professional racing formula, and it's eco-friendly. Will not harm the environment. Whatever. So yeah, this will be the first one we try. And the other one we're going to give a try, I did use this in the video, but I didn't use it enough, is stripper glitter. It's actually like the #1 selling traction compound right now on the market. It seems pretty cool. It's got a catchy name. And yeah, it does have glitter in it. Kind of direction, same thing. Pour it down, nice hot burnout, back up, send it, see what happens. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do three things. We're going to actually do one with no traction compound. We're going to do one with the Jegs traction compound. And then we're going to do one with a stripper glitter compound. Like I said, we're just going to see what happens. I know this isn't a track, but let's just go out and have some fun, see what happens. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually get some traction. See you soon. All right, well, before we head out, as you can see, had a little bit of a rain delay. Actually, a 48-hour rain delay. So yeah, I was getting stuff ready, wanting to go out, do a whole bunch of fun stuff, and it just absolutely cut loose. So we're back at it. What we're going to do now is, after talking to some friends, we're going to check the air pressure in this, and we're going to lower it a little bit. So let's see where we're at right now, and we're going to probably take it down just a notch. Lots of good feedback from some people on helping us some things out. So what we're going to do is we're going to check it. We're at about 20. So that's a little bit too much. So we're going to take this down. All right, took some air out of it. Let's check what we got going on now. Yep, we are at about 16 PSI. So we went from 20 PSI down to about 16. Guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take care of the other side real quick, and we're going to go on to the next step. Next step is going to be adjusting these QA1 shocks, and I'll explain that here in a few seconds. All right, so the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust these QA1 shocks. I just put these on a couple months ago and put them on somewhat of a base setting, and I could tell by driving it and the launches. Might have been okay for street driving, but for strip and trying to get traction, definitely not what's needed. So I did a whole bunch of research and kind of figured out some baselines where I need to be. And basically it said for the compression side, which is this knob, which is compressing down, that's 0 to 6 clicks. 0 being the softest, 6 being the hardest. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in the middle with this on that. So I'm going to set this to 3. So I'm going to click this 3 times. Okay, so there's 3. Now on the rebound, which is going the upside, It actually said 4 to 10. So I'm going to go right in the middle and go with 7. All right, so there's 7. So this is right in the middle of what QA1 says for drag racing. That's kind of a good baseline. However, what I'm going to do on the passenger side is I'm going to do it at 2 and 6. The reason being is I want this right side just a little bit stiffer and preloaded than that side. The car does like to really squat on this right side, so we're just going to play around with it, see it'll level out. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now to help get a little bit more traction, is actually setting these QA1 double adjustable shocks where they need to be. Somewhat of a middle of the road setting for what's considered drag racing. Already set the tire pressure, and now guys, what we need to do is we need to go out and do some testing. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that other shock. See you soon. All right, well, before we hit the road, I want to make this as, if you want to call it scientific as possible, even though we're going to be out on a, if you want to call it a countryside road, where I'm going to expect to get, once again, not a whole lot of traction, but hopefully the results are better. So how are we going to gauge this? Well, a couple different ways. I want to see what kind of bite that I'm going to get with the tire. And in order to do that, I have a GoPro mount, if you see right there with the pole. And my buddy Jason from Jason's Garage, he sent me an older GoPro Hero. Actually works quite well, and for doing stuff like this, this is going to be perfect. So I'll video the actual tires when I'm doing burnout, which isn't going to be like a big smoky one. It's just going to be cleaning the tires off, and then when I launch, just to see what happens. And the other thing I'm going to do is, well, I've got my Dragy. So I'm not making full blast runs with this. I'm literally going to try to gauge this on like a 60-foot time. I'm not expecting good times just because of the surface I'm on. But you know what, guys? This is going to help us see which test is going to be the best. Like I said, I'm going to do 3. One of them is going to be with no traction compound. One of them is going to be with a stripper glitter compound. And then the other one's going to be with the Jegs. Not sure how far I'm going to come off the converter, if I'm just going to stab it or what. I'm going to play around with it. So with that, guys, you know what? I've talked enough about what we're doing, why we're setting it up a certain way, on and on and on. You know what, though? I really don't know what to expect. But what we really need to do, we need to go find out. See you soon. Test number 1, no compound. Well, we're going to call that a wrap. Testing went okay. I have a whole lot of takeaways from it. But first off, I do want to give out a couple shout outs of a couple people I've been sending videos to asking for advice. Just Mopar Joe, helpful in a lot of stuff, and Dylan from Levi's Backyard Performance. My background is in the world of leaf springs. Know that a lot. This is a completely different setup, and I'm really trying to get it dialed in. Um, One quick thing, I did say earlier that I was going to use a GoPro on the side of the car. Well, it took a crap, wouldn't work, but I did have one on the front of the car to help compensate for that. So what are my takeaways? Well, here's my takeaways. I was on a really crappy surface road, and this car makes a whole lot of torque. So no matter what, traction is going to be very limited. The other takeaway is, well, guess what, guys? I really need to dial this in more, play around with it, and just hope for the best on those, that side road there. Like I said, it's not a good surface, but I'm getting it dialed in, and I know once I hit a prep track, it's going to be a whole lot better. 60 foot times, well, the best one I got was actually without any traction compound, and that was a 214. I know that sucks, but for what surface I was using and how bad I was spinning, actually it's not too bad. Second one was stripper glitter. It was a 222, spun like mad, but it was still a whole lot better than it was before. And the third one, well, that was the Jegs traction compound, and I just spun like mad, had to let out of it, get back into it. So that one was a completely different wash right there. What I wanted to do was go redo those again and maybe do a little bit hotter of a burnout through the traction compound. But there was a lot of cops around today. I hate saying that, but that road is usually just people free, cop free, you name it. I know you shouldn't be out there doing that, but generally speaking, that road is empty. The fuzz was out in force tonight. In fact, when I was leaving on that third test hit, I decided to go home because I saw one on an adjacent highway and just got the hell out of there. So what are my takeaways? Traction compound, it does work. With previous testing I did just dry, as you can see, I just spun all the way down the road. It does work. It helps get those tires sticky and all that. I think I could have probably done just a little bit more of a more aggressive burnout with that, but I was trying to go just a little bit easy just to see how that was going to work. Like I said, I really wanted to redo these. I probably will. Right now it's actually raining. It's been very rainy here. I'm going to make a few more chassis modifications, do a few more adjustments, and I'll go out and do a little bit more aggressive burnouts and a little bit more aggressive launches. On previous videos, I really came up on the converter on this. In these, I really didn't. I didn't flat punch. I just came up a little bit, rolled into it, and hammered it and went. Still spun, but you know what? That's the name of the game. Traction compound works. What is it? Well, I kind of explained it earlier. How does it work? Pour it down, do a burnout, gets things nice and sticky. I really do want to play around with this a lot more. I'm really digging the fact that I'm learning a lot about this style of a chassis setup and all the support I get from the community and my friends. So what are the next steps? Well, next steps are, I'm going to call this one not exactly a wash. I did learn a lot, but I also learned a lot where I need to move forward with this. So it's going to be more chassis tuning, playing around with tire pressure, maybe a little bit more aggressive burnout on that, and just see what happens. I did have a whole lot of fun making this video. I did feel kind of rushed at the end of that just for the circumstances of not wanting to get in a whole lot of trouble. I just had to pay a big traffic ticket from a drag race that I was going to a few weeks ago, and I don't want to have to get another one. It's always safety first. Always make sure your surroundings are good and all that. But in all reality, guys, it's all about fun. I'm going to get this thing dialed in, so when I hit the no-name nationals, I'm going to blow the doors off of people like John Cope and Mr. Hanney and race a whole bunch of other people just to have fun. Win, lose, or draw, name the game, get it dialed in, go out and have a blast. So with that, guys, that was my traction compound video. I added in some chassis tuning in there, got some cool footage in there to kind of show you what's going on. So yeah, that's what we ended up doing. There will be a whole lot more testing with this, and I guarantee next time, guys, I probably will be doing much hotter, stickier burnouts that are a little bit more exciting. I didn't do really full hard on blast with this. It was just practicing those 60 foots and all that. So with that, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be more tuning, more testing, a whole bunch more noise. So when we hit the track, we're dialed in, we're ready to go, and we're ready to whoop some ass. See you next time.
Hundreds of hours, late nights, blood, sweat, and tears. Built not bought, a dying breed.